Africa offers many different styles of specialist tours. One of these includes rail journeys. And South Africa and Southern Africa are home to some of the most luxurious rail journeys in the world. This includes the Blue Train and the Rovos Rail. These journeys tend to travel between maybe Cape Town, Pretoria, up to Victoria Falls, and even the Rovos Rail does a 14-day journey all the way from Cape Town up to Dar es Salaam in Tanzania. Alternatively, there's also the Shongololo. The Shongololo is a 16-day tour which travels around parts of southern Africa with vehicles on the back of the train taking you off to your sightseeing each day. With the Shongololo, there's many different experiences you can obtain in one journey. Other types of specialist tours include trekking, walking. For example, we spoke earlier about gorilla trekking in Uganda and Rwanda. But one of the most famous trekking options that we do offer are treks climbing Mount Kilimanjaro, Africa's highest mountain. Now there's many different styles of treks. The Marangu, also known as the Coca-Cola route, the Machami, known as the whiskey route, or even the Rongai route. Many different styles of trips that are available where someone can actually walk up to the peak of Mount Kilimanjaro. Now some of the treks you will stay in huts along the way. Others you will take your own tent and camp. As Mount Kilimanjaro is almost 6 kilometers high, acclimatization is very important. We don't want people to suffer from altitude sickness, and sometimes this can affect even the fittest of people. Therefore, it's very important to just take the additional day or two in order to climb the mountain. We try and do the trip in 6 nights, trying to make sure that someone has the additional day to acclimatize whilst they make their way to the top, staying at different huts along the route. Now, one of our tips is to try and combine the climb up Kilimanjaro with a full moon. And the reason for this is that on your final night, your attempt to the peak, you'll be leaving around midnight because you want to reach the peak of Kilimanjaro, the roof of Africa, for sunrise, to see the sun rising over the plains of Africa. So leaving at midnight for your final trek, your final ascent to the peak, if you have the moon and the light shining down on you to assist you with your walk, it all goes hand in hand to make sure you achieve your dream. As for safaris, some of the specialist tours include flying safaris, in particular luxury flying safaris. In Kenya, we have a luxury aircraft that just seats 8 people, flying around southern Kenya, combining the Masai Mara, Amboseli National Park, as well as Tsavo East and West. Alternatively, there's a northern circuit combining trips up the Rift Valley. These luxurious aircraft have high wings so you can see easily out your large windows, great photo opportunities, flying low over the migration, flying past Kilimanjaro. The experience of the flight is part of the journey. It's not just about going from A to B. Making sure that when you land at each destination, you're welcomed by a glass of champagne. Now that's the luxury way of flying on a safari in Africa. In addition to the flying safaris in Kenya, you also have flying safaris in Namibia, in Botswana. There's many different styles of trips available in all areas of Africa. We spoke about climbing Kilimanjaro and the walking trips there. Well, don't forget the home of walking safaris in Zambia, in South Luangwa National Park, where you have mobile safari camps that you will go from one day to the next. A really great experience to get an up close and personal experience of that safari. In addition, you have horse riding holidays. And because you're on horseback, the animals are less afraid, which means you can get closer to the wildlife and sneak up to areas that you wouldn't have been able to on foot. There's types of horse riding safaris for all calibers, whether you're amateur or whether you're highly experienced. Whether you're traveling by train, by air safari, by horseback or by foot, there's so many different safari options available. And it just shows how specialised some of the safaris can be now when you go on holiday to Africa.